So we've acknowledged the fact that men have anxiety leading to retirement, but now what? What should we do about it? Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I got a lot of good feedback recently about the conversation about anxiety for men versus women. It's different for both of them. And if you haven't watched that video, I encourage you to go back and watch it. On today's video, we're going to be talking about men specifically and the tips that we have at Pleasant Wealth for a man as he's approaching retirement to help process through the anxiety that is stirred kind of inherently because of society's pressures to provide a paycheck. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for a regular pleasant financial conversation. All right, so we've already acknowledged that men have this different burden from society around provision and effort and that need to bring home a paycheck. And so when they step towards retirement, their question is simply, who am I now that I don't have this job? Who am I now that I don't bring home a paycheck? So even if he has been an excellent saver, super diligent, super responsible, built up a nice nest egg that financially prepares for the rest of his life, provides for the rest of his life, it doesn't matter because he's still asking the question, who am I if I don't have my career? So at Pleasant Wealth, as we have walked through this conversation with many folks as they're stepping towards retirement, we have a couple of tips for you. If this is the anxiety that you're facing, or if you just kind of want to help a partner or a father or a brother figure out how to process through this idea of like, who am I now that I don't have this job? So the first tip is that we practice a stepped down retirement. And what that means is that we're not going full stop retirement. We're not going working 40 hours or 70 hours a week, depending on what kind of man you are, to working 0 hours per week, because we have seen historically that this is detrimental to a man's health. Goldwatch Syndrome. Have you seen that video yet? It's one of the first videos that I created. I'll put a link up here. Go watch it. But that'll show you the health issue that has cropped up from that type of retirement. But helping a man take a step down approach is to encourage to go part-time just for a couple of years or a couple of months before fully retiring. It's twofold. One, it helps the employer recognize the gaps that they have to fill in the job, and so he can be training the next person. That creates a lot of like legacy, that feeling of like, I set this company up really well before I left. But the second thing is that it gives a man a permission to really explore hobbies or pursue extra time with family or just kick back. And you know what? Once you start into that, you might feel how nice it feels just to have that freedom of choice and not to be bound by the schedule of the company that they are in. So that's step number one. The second tip is that while he is taking a step down retirement, to establish at least one weekly thing that he does. So we all kind of laugh when we see the coffee club at McDonald's or the local coffee shop, or that poker night that always has to happen, or the bicycling group. We might kind of chuckle at that, but the fact is that when we have something in our schedule to look forward to every week, some sort of gathering with other human beings that share our passions, not only do we get excited to go see them, but it provides a pillar in our week so that we can kind of wrap our heads around time. Because as we all know from COVID, when our schedule is completely wiped, it's hard for us to remember what day it is. And that feels particularly debilitating to a man as he's stepping into retirement and has always had his career in the background. This is a good way for him to start putting in some of those pillars, creating that rhythm into his. Number three is to really answer the question of what do you do? Because inevitably, you know you're going to go to that social gathering where someone asks you that question. And when you don't have the career that you're currently working on, that might feel debilitating. So who are you now that you are retired? Saying, well, I used to work in supply chain, but I'm now happily retired and I'm pursuing endeavors in bicycling or poker nights. I'm really good at poker. Whatever it is, you are able to answer that question comfortably for yourself and for the person who's asking the question. All of these things to say that it is a-okay for you to be retired. and you are going to find a good stride as you step towards retirement. Tip number 4 is to start your retirement style vacations anyway. So now that we've created a step down retirement, maybe having some of those bucket list vacations on the schedule, something that you can look forward to at whatever time of year you want, that will help also get you into the rhythm of what retirement can feel like. Because as human beings, we love rhythm. And so if you are creating some of the retirement rhythm while you're still working, you're going to feel a lot better once you step into retirement and have something to look forward to as you know kind of what your vacation pace is in retirement. All right, friends, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. So all of these tips to say it is a-okay for you to be stepping into retirement. It's a-okay for you to lay down your career and start new endeavors. You can pursue your passions. You can pursue mentoring and leaving a legacy. You can pursue taking a break because Lord knows you have spent a lot of years working in your past, helping other people build their businesses, build their lifestyle, and you deserve the time to just take a break and enjoy all the fruits of your labor. So with all of that, I will leave you, and you take care.